Welcome back to TYT's The Conversation. It is your host, Adrienne Lawrence, and now I am joined by education activist Naomi Peña, who is also the president of District 1 Community Education Council there in New York City, and she's the co-founder of the Literacy Academy Collection. Thanks so much for joining us, Naomi.
Thank you for having me, Adrienne.
Yes, so for Literacy Academy Collection, I understand it's an organization that really designs and supports New York City public schools to bring evidence-based literacy instruction into the classroom, and that you all currently are working on essentially creating among one of the first schools in New York City that really specializes in educating students with dyslexia. What encouraged you to essentially move forward with something this ambitious?
That's right. This actually came from many personal experiences. I am one of six, a fierce team mom group, and every single one of us have had a child with dyslexia. I myself have 4 children. My 3 boys are dyslexic. It's a hereditary condition, and unfortunately in this country and over the last couple of decades, we have moved towards what they call balanced literacy approach, meaning you look at the picture, you look at the words, you kind of figure out what's going on, not really sounding out the letters. So what we want to do is bring structural literacy, science-based approach where you are literally learning the phonetic letters to every single word and bringing that together, which is scientifically proven to help every single learner, not just students with dyslexia or that struggle to read.
Wow, and I would think that a lot of people don't really understand how prevalent dyslexia is. And I know some academics really estimated that it's between 10 to 20% of students have dyslexia. And so it seems to be a significant need out there. Would you say that that's correct in terms of having a school that focuses on this type of learning that can actually be pretty impactful in terms of a student, especially if they have dyslexia?
Absolutely. Right now there are schools that do this. Unfortunately, it's out of reach for the vast majority. These are private institutions that cost a significant amount of money. And those are resources that is not accessible to the average person who is living by a livable wage. So, if you are a struggling parent or low wage worker, it's hard to look at a tuition that costs $75,000 a year to educate your child to read. So what we're trying to do is turn the system upside down on its head, where you don't need an expensive neuropsychological that can run you up to 10 grand. You don't need to hire an attorney to sue the Department of Education for a lawsuit to reimburse you for those funds. All you have to do is just have a child that's struggling to read. We can bring them into our school and we can support that child.
Wow, that sounds like it would be essentially life-changing for a lot of people out there, especially individuals who are dyslexic and who are young. As I understand, in an exchange that you and I had in our DMs on Twitter, you had shared a post that said in Rikers Island, 60 to 80% of those who are incarcerated between the ages of 19 and 21 have reading and writing disabilities. And that shook me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you have to also think about it from a lens of, in my own personal experience, my child struggled my oldest, particularly, he's 21. He struggled his whole entire educational career. He's never felt like he belonged in the classroom. He always felt chastised, always made fun of. He always felt like his teachers never supported him. So as a young man, especially a young man of color in this country, once you start feeling those things, you start to lose and disengage in school. And it's no coincidence that, once high school comes around, the need to want to be in a classroom dissipates, because why would you want to be in a classroom where you cannot literally read the words on the paper? There's a lot of nuances out there that it's reversing B and D's. It's not, absolutely not. It's literally, people have said that you can look it up, you can search dyslexia simulator, and you will see there was a GitHub that was created where the words literally dance around the screen. So if you're struggling to read that way, you're not going to want to stay in school. And unfortunately, in this country, what that means is men of color tend to fall into unfortunate situations that lead them into prison.
Yeah, and as especially we know and we've seen, being at Rikers is not a place where anyone should be, but that's a whole different show and a whole different conversation. But
Sure.
still, if there's something that can be done en route to actually ending up through that, school prison pipeline thing, that's important to be done. And so being able to offer individuals who maybe are from lower incomes or different demographics the opportunity to have that same access at the educational level is huge. And so I'd love to talk a little bit about what you all are doing. So right now, in terms of trying to get this school started, and as I understand, they were able to get one on Staten Island. But now in terms of getting one, I don't know if, are you focusing on Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Bronx?
So, right, that school on Staten Island is actually a charter school. So it's not, but it's an institution that we started to work closely with. Just talking about how they started, what was the hiccups, what's the road. Our vision at Literacy Academy Collective is literally to create a network of schools that can do this. So we're waiting for an approval where we can be cited. We can be cited anywhere in the city, but the vision is literally it's multifaceted. So we want to create a lighthouse school in the city, build it out, train teachers, because there's another key component to this is the teacher training. Unfortunately, higher educational institutions are not teaching dyslexia or how to teach evidence-based reading to students. So we want to do some teacher training and then build out that school and then roll it out across the city in different boroughs. And at the same time, create a network of pipeline of teachers they will do a residency in our school for a couple of years. So to get a teacher training, do some hands-on work, and then they'll go back to their district schools and bring that back into the ecosystem in their district schools. So it'll be a revolving door of supports.
Oh, that's fantastic, especially, spreading those skills so people can be on the ground and truly be impactful with their knowledge base. That's amazing. And so I'm wondering, what kind of hurdles have you run into so far in terms of getting this project together?
The first hurdle is the will, and it's the desire. The unfortunate truth is that the prior administration had no desire or honest, probably any vision to really tackle this. We do see that there is a prime opportunity with the current administration that we have in New York City with Mayor Eric Adams, who has made this part of his campaign promise that he wants to do this. We have met with him when he was a candidate, so he knows that we exist. We also have met with the chancellor. He knows that we exist, and they've been super eager to do this. So there is a good light at that tunnel that we will get some good news soon.
That's fantastic. That would be very good, especially because I know he's doing several things with Rikers that a lot of people are not the biggest fans of. And so actually addressing this issue, which could actually reduce the potential population of individuals going to Rikers, would be great. And when we talk about dyslexia, something that was just absolutely eye-opening for me is not realizing how many people struggle with it. And especially when we look at that celebrity level, seeing that Steven Spielberg, Whoopi Goldberg, Tom Cruise, Richard Branson, Keira Knightley, there are so many names that people see as being successful. And you have to think, if that person was struggling with the ability to read and understanding literacy, it just makes me commend them even more, but it makes me think that they probably had the support to essentially get where they are.
Absolutely. I bring this down to a granular level. This is personal to me. I'm a proud product of the New York City public housing. And I think of those families that are in those residents that don't have the means, like I said, to drop $10,000 for a neuropsychological, $5,000 for an attorney, $75,000 upwards for annual school tuition. Those celebrities were able to get tutors. And those are just things that are not accessible to the average family of color or low income of color, income worker. So it's really important to even out the playing field here and to really give equal access. And that's the vision that we have for our school, to finally, again, turn the pyramid upside down and allow people to use the system to the benefit of their child so they can actually get the supports that they need. And we can start reversing the unfortunate pipeline that exists currently.
Yes, everybody should have a right to definitely access education, literacy, and to have the opportunity to essentially make the most of themselves. And so being able to have the funding, the support that you all need to get this school together, I guess, what can you tell people in terms of lending their support and uplifting the Literacy Academy collection?
Well, I would say definitely check us out online. We have our social medias, Literacy Acad NYC, it's abbreviated. They can also follow me on Twitter, Naomi Peña NYC. The vision is to really create a system where if we can do this in New York, we can do this nationally. Because this is not just a New York City problem, this is a USA problem. The children that cannot read in public housing are the same children that cannot read, in Wisconsin on a farm. So there is a place that this can exist, and this can be revolutionary for the entire country if we do this right.
Yes, and that would be an incredible thing. And I commend you so much for all of the good work you're doing. And I will definitely explain to people why I was in your DMs, which is that Naomi and I have known each other for just shy of maybe 20 years. We used to work together at the US Attorney's Office in New York City.
But we wear it well.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Oh man, so many great things. And so Naomi, in terms of, I guess, what's next? What is next for you as the president of District 1 Community Education Council, also the co-founder of the Literacy Academy Collection, and all that you're doing as an education activist?
I would say we are going to continue to push and advocate to have this school exist. We're also, we do have an SSO, school support organization open, which is the Literacy Academy Collective. And the vision is there to create a nonprofit to also support this vision and this training across other places, be it in New York City district schools or, in other places. So this is like a prime place that people who are really passionate about this can finally find a home. I do envision all those celebrities that you mentioned being, this is exciting. I want to support this in any way, because this is exactly the type of giving back that we need, not just for, to make your soul feel good, but also for our future.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Naomi, for all of your work and also for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.